If you are over 50, your workout could be doing more harm than good. The rules of engagement with your body have changed. With over 30 years of clinical experience in aging and metabolism, I can tell you this clearly. The heavy squats that built your strength in your 30s can now become a liability for your knees and your spine. This is not opinion, it is biomechanics. As your joints age, cartilage tolerance drops, recovery slows, and repeated load starts to break the body down instead of building it up. But here is where most people get it wrong. They stop training. And that is exactly how the real problem begins. Because the true enemy after 50 is sarcopenia, the silent loss of muscle that weakens your strength, your balance, and your control. And this is where it shows up in real life. The difference between standing up easily or needing your hands just to get out of a chair. So this is not about training harder. It is about training smarter. Stability first. Control first. Today, I am going to show you 5 specific movements designed to rebuild strength without grinding your joints down. Movements that restore control, protect your knees, and take pressure off your spine. By the end of this video, you will have a simple routine you can use to protect your independence. Stay with me because these 5 movements can rebuild your leg strength without destroying your knees. And before we start, tell me your city and state in the comments. The first movement is called the step down with eccentric control, and this is where everything starts to change for your knees. Because what most people never realize is that your knee problems are not coming from going up. They are coming from coming down. From stairs, from curbs, from every single step where your body has to absorb force against gravity. This is exactly where traditional squats fall short. Squats train both legs at the same time under heavy load, but they do not isolate the deceleration phase. And that phase is the one that protects your joints in real life. When you step down, your body has to control gravity on one leg. That is where stability is built or lost. This movement directly targets the vastus medialis, the inner part of your quadriceps, often called the teardrop muscle. This muscle is critical for knee stability and proper tracking of the kneecap. When it weakens, the joint starts to drift, pressure becomes uneven, and that is when pain begins. To perform the step down with eccentric control, stand on a sturdy step or a low platform. One foot stays firmly planted. Keep your heel down to activate the posterior chain. Now slowly lower your opposite heel toward the floor. You can step slightly backward or to the side, but do not let that heel take your weight. Imagine you are gently tapping a piece of fragile glass. The goal here is not movement, it is control. As you lower yourself, your standing leg should feel a deep, stabilizing tension as it resists gravity. Keep your hips level. Keep your torso upright. Do not collapse forward or shift into your lower back. This is where most people make a critical mistake. They chase weight instead of control. But at your age, control is what protects your joints, and load comes later. If you cannot control your body, adding weight only accelerates damage. For real results, perform 3 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions on each leg. Take a full 3 to 4 seconds to lower yourself every single time. That slow descent is where the strength is built. If you feel sharp pain in your knee, reduce the height of the step immediately. You are training muscle, not grinding your joint. Once your control improves, you can hold light weights at your sides, but never sacrifice precision for intensity. Because this one movement, done correctly, can retrain how your knee handles force for the rest of your life. The second movement is the wall sit, and this is where most people completely underestimate what real strength feels like, because this is not about moving weight. This is about holding tension where your joints are most vulnerable. Unlike traditional exercises that force your knees to bend and straighten over and over again, this uses isometric contraction. That means the joint stays still while the muscles do the work. And that changes everything, because when the joint is not moving, shear forces drop dramatically. That is exactly what protects the cartilage inside your knee. This is why the wall sit is so effective for people dealing with arthritis, tendon irritation, or even lower back discomfort. It allows you to load the quadriceps and the patellar tendon with high intensity, but without grinding the joint surfaces together. You are strengthening the structure while keeping it stable. To perform the wall sit, stand with your back flat against a wall and slowly slide down until your thighs are parallel to the floor. Your knees and hips should form a 90-degree angle. Your feet are about shoulder width apart and firmly planted. Now, here is where most people do it wrong. They just hang on their joints and wait. That does nothing. You need active tension. Drive your heels into the ground, as if you are trying to push the floor away. Press your lower back firmly into the wall. Turn your legs on. You should feel heat building quickly in your thighs. That is the muscle fibers working to hold you against gravity. Breathing is not optional here. If you hold your breath, your blood pressure can spike. You need slow, controlled breathing to keep oxygen flowing to the muscles while they are under stress. For real results, hold this position for 30 to 45 seconds. Do 3 sets. If you feel knee discomfort, slide slightly higher up the wall to open the joint angle until the pain disappears. That adjustment alone can make the difference between damage and progress. And if this becomes too easy, you can increase the challenge by extending one leg straight out in front of you while maintaining the position. That single change forces your body to stabilize even harder. This movement may look simple, but do not be fooled. When done correctly, it builds a level of strength and joint resilience that most people never develop because they are too busy chasing movement instead of mastering tension. Now we need to address something most people over 50 never even realize is happening. Your glutes are shutting down. Years of sitting, reduced movement, and poor posture slowly disconnect these muscles from your nervous system. And when that happens, your lower back is forced to take over loads it was never designed to handle. This is where the real damage begins. Because your glutes are not just there for appearance, they are the powerhouse of your posterior chain. They control hip extension. They stabilize your pelvis. They protect your spine every time you stand, walk, or lift anything off the ground. When they go quiet, everything above and below starts to compensate. The third movement to fix this is the single leg glute bridge hold. Lie flat on your back with your knees bent and your feet close to your glutes. Now lift one foot completely off the ground and extend that leg slightly. Your entire focus is on the leg that stays planted. Drive the heel of that grounded foot hard into the floor and lift your hips toward the ceiling. At the top, your body should form a straight line from your shoulders to your knee. But getting up is not the goal. The goal is what happens at the top. You need to create a maximal contraction in your glute. Imagine you are trying to hold a coin tightly between your muscle cheeks. That level of tension is what reactivates the muscle. Keep your core braced. Keep your ribs down. The movement must come from your hip, not from arching your lower back. Hold this position for 20 to 30 seconds on each side. Do 3 sets. This is how you build functional endurance in the muscles that protect your spine and control your movement. Now pay attention to this because it is one of the most common problems. If you feel cramping in the back of your thigh, your hamstring is taking over. That means your glute is still not doing its job. To fix this immediately, pull your grounded heel closer to your body. This changes the mechanics and forces the glute to take control. If the single leg version is too difficult, start with both feet on the ground. Build the connection first, then progress. Because once your glutes come back online, everything changes. Walking becomes more stable, standing becomes easier, and your lower back finally stops paying the price for a muscle that went silent years ago. Now we move to something that directly affects how you walk every single day, and this is where decline often becomes visible first. As you age, your hip flexors begin to weaken and tighten. These are the muscles, especially the psoas, that connect your spine to your legs. Years of sitting shorten them, reduce their strength, and slowly limit how high and how cleanly you can lift your leg. This is why steps become shorter. This is why people start to shuffle. And this is exactly why the risk of tripping goes up. Because if you cannot lift your foot with control, you cannot clear the ground safely. The fourth movement to fix this is the standing hip flexion. Stand next to a wall or hold onto a sturdy chair for light support. Keep your posture tall, as if a string is pulling the top of your head toward the ceiling. Now, shift your weight fully into one leg. That standing leg must become solid and stable. Lock the glute. Do not let your body sway. From there, slowly lift your opposite knee up toward your chest. Your goal is to bring your thigh higher than your hip if your mobility allows it. But height is not the priority. Control is. At the top, pause for a full second. You should feel a deep contraction in your lower abdomen and the front of your hip. Think about crushing something in the crease of your hip. That is how you engage the muscle properly. Now lower your foot back down slowly. Do not let gravity take over. The descent is just as important as the lift. This is how you rebuild control, not just strength. Perform 3 sets of 10 to 12 slow repetitions on each side. Every repetition should be deliberate. No momentum. No rushing. And here is a critical safety point. If you find yourself leaning backward or arching your lower back just to lift your knee higher, you have already gone too far. That means you are no longer using your hip flexors. You are compensating with your spine. It is better to lift lower with perfect control than to chase height and damage your lower back. Because this movement is not just an exercise, it is the foundation of how you walk, how you step, and how safely you move through the world every day. Now we come to what may be the most important movement in this entire sequence, especially if you care about protecting your lower back for the rest of your life. Because this is where most injuries actually happen. Not in the gym, but when you bend down to pick something up, a bag, a box, even something as simple as tying your shoes. The problem is not the object, the problem is how you move. Most people bend through their spine instead of their hips, and over time, that repeated stress on the lumbar discs begins to add up. That is how back pain starts, quietly, gradually, and then all at once. The fifth movement to fix this is the standing hip hinge. Stand with your feet about hip width apart. Your knees are not locked, but they are not deeply bent either. Just soft. From here, the entire movement comes from pushing your hips backward, not down, back. Imagine you are trying to close a car door behind you using only your hips. As you hinge forward, keep your chest lifted and your spine completely flat. Think of your back as a solid table. It does not round. It does not collapse. As you move, you should feel a deep stretch along the back of your thighs. That is your hamstrings loading with tension. That is exactly what you want. Go only as low as you can while keeping your back flat. For many people, that will be around a 45-degree angle, and that is perfectly enough. To come back up, do not pull with your lower back. Drive your hips forward and squeeze your glutes. That is what brings you upright. That is how the body was designed to move. Perform 3 sets of 12 smooth repetitions. Every rep should be controlled. No jerking, no rushing. Now here is the rule that will protect your spine. The moment your back starts to round, you stop. You reduce the range. Because once the spine loses its position, the load shifts from muscle to discs. And that is where injury begins. If you are just starting, you can practice this seated on the edge of a chair. That removes balance and lets you learn the pattern safely. If you are more advanced, you can hold a weight against your chest or place a light bar across your upper back. But only if your form is perfect. Because this movement is not just an exercise, it is a pattern. And once your body learns to hinge correctly, you stop abusing your spine every time you bend, lift, or move in daily life. Now step back for a moment and look at what you have just rebuilt. These are not random exercises. This is a complete system designed to restore how your body actually works after 50. Every movement you just learned has a purpose. You trained how your knees handle force. You strengthened your quads without grinding the joint. You reactivated your glutes so your lower back does not have to compensate. You restored your ability to lift your legs with control so you can walk safely. And you relearned how to bend using your hips instead of damaging your spine. This is the difference most people never understand. They keep training the way they did in their 30s, chasing weight, chasing repetitions, thinking more effort will somehow fix the problem. But the body does not work that way anymore. After 50, strength is not about how much you can lift. It is about how well your body functions under control. It is about protecting your joints while keeping your muscles alive. It is about maintaining the ability to move freely, confidently, and without pain. Because what most people call aging is often something else entirely. It is years of muscles going offline, joints taking on stress they were never designed to handle, and the nervous system slowly losing trust in the body. But when you rebuild the right way, everything starts to change. Movement becomes smoother, balance becomes more stable, everyday actions stop feeling like a risk. Biology rewards consistency over intensity. Small, controlled effort repeated every day will always outperform occasional bursts of heavy training that break the body down. If you found value in this, subscribe and share this with someone who needs to protect their knees before it is too late.